All right, Jim iuorio, here he is, Quasar Markets Live. You were not in Chicago today. Where are you at, Jimmy?
No, I'm in the sunny state of Florida in the Keys. You and I have talked about this a lot. Key West is my favorite place on the planet. Been there about 40 times. However, the last few years, Key West has gotten crowded. Key West has gotten expensive. So we've moved up the Keys a little bit. We're on the water in Marathon. Right when we're done here, I'll have my paddleboard in the water. And my friends are right across the canal. They're kind of waiting for me, and we'll all jump in and go head out with a couple of beers, watch the it's too early for the sunset, but we'll stay out there a while.
Oh, it's never too late with the sunset. I got lots of best friends that live in the islands, and I lived there myself 6 years. So I really like that. But let's talk about the islands a little bit. How's it? What's it feel there? We just had Bubba on. We've had all kinds of guests today. The malaise, the narrative that the president tried to put to us on Tuesday, and the camaraderie that did not happen at the State of the Union. What's going on in the world? Are you feeling it too?
So yes. By the way, down here in Florida, I have this thesis, and you've probably seen it too, is that the normal people who live in a place where you're outside all the time, they don't worry about it as much as us people up north who are suffering through the dead of winter, and all we have to do is to doom scroll about how terrible everything is, because everything is not terrible. You come down here and everything seems wonderful. People are nice to each other. Everyone seems to like each other. No one asks what their politics are. I actually think it's a good reminder that things are not bad in the world. What are your thoughts on that?
As a Floridian, I think that things are bad. Actually, I don't. The housing market's makes me very nervous. People have asked me. I had two people today ask me. Said I sold my house. I said take whatever they're going to give you, take it, right? Because I think the markets are going to collapse here. I asked Bubba a few minutes ago, is this 2008? He said absolutely, if not worse. I don't think it's that level, Jimmy. I don't think it's that level.
No, you know why I don't think that too is because 2005 through 2008 was characterized by everybody leveraging up on multiple homes. Everybody you talk to was a house flipper. Oh, I just bought this, but I'm going to flip it. I don't see that very much anymore. Like when you watch the movie The Big Short or read the book, all that stuff was true. The stripper owning 7 homes and mortgaging the heck out of all of them. That really happened. It was a 10-year run. So the problem is that, and I don't want to talk out of school with Bubba. I love Bubba. I do. But every time, because people our age, every time we see something happen, we think, is it that again? And I don't think it's that again. I think that, I think we could have a garden variety again. Remember, we locked up the housing stock by raising mortgages from 2.8 to 7.5% in 10 months' time. That never happened. And the end result of that was locking up the stock. So I do think there could be a pressure valve that's released and prices could come down, even though Donald Trump has said repeatedly that he doesn't want that. But I do worry about the housing market, and I worry about the labor market too. And again, I don't think that's President Trump's fault. I think that's a pendulum swing from overhiring, coupled with the fact that everybody thinks that AI is going to create this amazing efficiencies and productivity gains. Some might be true, some might be not, but either way, it's affecting the labor market in a bad way in the short term.
Yeah, Jensen Huang this morning said that the market's got AI wrong, that they're still on, but yet he had a beat of 8%, a big beat. And stock's down. I mean, we're seeing down 5.25%. I bought NVIDIA down here.
So this to me is a microcosm of really what's going on. And let's look about it in the broad market, this 7,000 level. So for 3 years, we've had double-digit run-ups in the S&P and even more so in the NASDAQ. And we've gotten to what I think is the put-up or shut-up line. 7,000 is going to be a big commitment to push through it. And each news item that breaks, and yesterday it was NVIDIA, and that was a solid beat, or a big beat, as you said. But we didn't make through the 7,000 level. I don't know. I can't remember what the equivalent level is in the NASDAQ, but I'm not watching the NASDAQ as much because I think they're going to have a difficult time. So I want to see a settlement in the S&P above 7,025, and then any subsequent strength the next day. And technically, that'll convince me that it's no longer the massive resistance overhang.
Yeah, but you think about the SPOOs, I mean, 7,000, is that just a number in our head? If as retail traders and institutional, is that also in the heads of the algos too as well, at 7,000?
Sure. So, and you know this, but I'm telling the people who don't, is that we always talk about psychological levels, but they're really not psychological levels. What they are is levels with massive amounts of options open interest. Because a year ago, if you're putting on a year-long options trade and you're targeting something, you're not targeting 7,005, you're targeting 7,000. It's a nice big round number, and it makes your options positions easier. So it's not psychological. There's a call wall, is what Mike Arnold at Unfiltered Investor calls it, at 7,000. So pushing through it is going to be difficult. And it's lofty. It's stretched. We know. And by the way, I'll add a couple things too. the year after 3 straight double-digit gains, we averaged like 5% in the S&P, way below the 9% normal. The average year in midterm election years is about 6%, significantly below the 9% normal. And all those things are kind of, so I have almost 3 times the amount of hedges on that I normally have in my stock position, despite the fact that I'm somewhat of an economic bull and a long-term stock bull. I just think the first half of this year is going to be volatile.
So that's a lot. I mean, and the VIX is not up that much. It's concerning to me. Is this the calm before the storm?
I think there could be a calm before the storm. And when we talk about midterm election years too, it's nice to say the average return is 6%, but the average, if it's a winning year, the average return is 21%. If it's a losing year, the average return is negative 12%. So it's some big volatile swings in midterm election years. So I do think it could be a storm coming in equity markets. But again, it's not 2001 and it's not 2008. I believe it's much more garden variety, much more healthy, trim the hedges a little bit. And again, I'm fine from an economic standpoint.
Yeah, WTI now sitting at 65.33 now a barrel. Iran, Cuba, Ukraine, Russia, China, Taiwan. Where in the hell is there a place that's actually safe? Mexico. Like, this is getting crazier and crazier and crazier this year.
And we thought 2026 was supposed to be the calm year geopolitically, and that gold was no longer going to be the fashionable trade. Guess what? Gold is still the fashionable trade, not because of any sort of panic buying, because geopolitics are largely unsettled, more so than normal, and global central banks are buying gold at the rate not seen in 80 years, over 1,000 tons per year by China, India, Poland, Turkey, Russia are all buying a crap ton of gold. That's a high-level financial term, people, crap ton of gold, and I want to be on that as well. I got out of some on the run-up before it hit this January 29th highs in both gold and silver, but I've been looking to accumulate more than I am to get rid of now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, I'm looking at Bitcoin 67.8, Jane Street. These are some of the things we heard about before, right? I mean, unbelievable that they were manipulating the markets here.
How about that? You want to talk about crazy stories too. The Jane Street one is crazy, but also the one about Anthropic Claude hacking the Mexican government yesterday. So to me, that's a bigger story than it is getting credit for. Yeah, and I think it's wild, and it made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. But I also think what it is I started immediately looking at the cybersecurity firms. I'm looking at Palo Alto, but Palo Alto's obviously had a huge beating. But I think it's putting in a bit of a base, but it's still far away from a spot that I would buy it in. But I think that that yesterday's one, it underscored the power of AI. We can't sleep on AI. It's a big deal. It literally hacked the Mexican government just because somebody asked it to repeatedly. And the cybersecurity firms, I think, are going to be a big deal too.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull up Palo Alto for everybody out there. I'm going to hopefully we can get this up there for everybody. Palo Alto, PANW is the ticker symbol there. I see what you're saying, Jimmy. You're going to keep saying it's going to push up here. Yeah,
I think that it could. But again, I have to see it clear some hurdles. I can't remember exactly what those hurdles are now. Full disclosure too, by the way, the president of Palo Alto is one of my oldest childhood buddies. So I want that to be known so there's no conflict of interest talking about the stock, but I am planning on buying it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you're at a 52-week range. The lows here, 139.57. You know where the stop limit is. So 140 is your stop limit.
So let me ask you a question then, Steve. Have you ever put on a trade just because it was so obvious where the stop should be? Because I have before.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a shot. Yeah. Okay.
Let me show you what I did this morning. I mean, Unity Software to me was a total buy because I thought, right, you can see here, this is the daily chart, and I'll do the lines out. There it is. And I thought that, look at that. I mean, that's why I bought Unity Software today, because I knew where the stop was. And
where the stop is, exactly. Yeah.
Made 5% of the money in less than an hour today. So, I mean, like, I really thought that that's exactly what you should be doing. So if you think about it with Palo Alto, I love this call on Palo Alto. And I would say clip this because I want to push this out to people. But look at that. I mean, Jimmy, you've nailed it here to me. I think
so. I want to see it do some work on the upside. I don't want to try to pick a bottom necessarily, but I am looking to accumulate in that.
Yeah, and you can see where the volume and the histograms are all telling you that maybe we are bottoming out. Look at that on the daily chart here. And if you look at it from a weekly chart, look at that. We've blown below the 200-day moving average. And I like this move here. We don't tell anybody what to buy or sell here. We don't do that here. But Jim, that's a really good move here. I like this play because,
by the way, it just tickled the 200-week moving average and went back above it, correct?
That's correct. And if we look at the monthly, good Lord, you've got some serious buying in here.
Tell you. Right. I love
Well,
it.
boys and girls, that just went on my new radar here. I like
the
that.
radar.
Live on Quasar Markets Live, Jim iuorio. Jim, I want you to have a good time on the islands. That's for me, that's a very important when you go down there to live the way that I love to live.
I know, and I love it too. I don't think I could. My daughter, I went to pick her up at the Key West Airport today. On the way back, she said, "Could you ever live in the Keys?" I said, "No, I could certainly spend a month in the Keys. I could maybe spend 6 weeks in the Keys. But for me, it is because you're the same as me, and I know you tried it. But I'm
6 years.
Yeah, but I'm a little too high strung for long-term Keys life. I come here to specifically deprogram myself, and it does a great job of doing that. I'll tell you.
You know, it's interesting you say that because it coming down there from New York and DC going to Key West, it was hard to decompress. It was too slow for me, and I didn't, I want to know the news was going on. So please, for the love of God, decompress. Love you, Jimmy. We'll see you right back here next week, man.
Brother. Have a great one. Tons of fun as always, Steve.